Welcome back to DFS Rebels for the Sunday slate of Week 14 games. It's your boy Dante with the man himself, Mr. Rob, as we're back sharing those banger picks along with a couple of sleepers to help you make those difficult lineup decisions so you will wind up filling up your pockets. So with that being said, it is time to join the rebellion.
That's right. That's right, Mr. Dante. How's it going? You ready to win some money this week?
Oh yeah, we're all coming off of a great week last week. Got that momentum. It's all about the momentum. So very optimistic heading into tomorrow's slate. So of course, always ready.
All right. So I'm going to start off with one of my favorite quarterbacks this week, which is obviously Jalen Hurts. I don't really need to say much about him. He's been on fire. He has the rushing upside. All you need to know is you just need to pair him with either AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Um, if you need exposure to this game, and uh, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith on incredible matchups here against the Giants' 28th ranked pass defense. Both Eagles wideouts tear up cover one and cover three, which is what New York runs. So there's no reason not to get them. It's expensive, but I think in cash games you need it. Obviously, Smith would be better than Brown and GPPs. The other combination I do really like is I absolutely love Joe Burrow this week. He's obviously a value in terms of like a top tier quarterback who regularly puts up fantasy outputs. Um, he's in one of the higher total games on the slate, which is 47.5. He's been a tear of late. All his weapons are back. Mixon's back. Even Vegas has him like Vegas has his passing props above 280. They have his probability for two passing touchdowns to not win a lot of money either. They're going up against the Cleveland Browns 27th ranked defense, so there's no reason not to roll out Joe Burrow with any of his weapons. I'm talking Chase, or T. Higgins, mix and roll him out. That's such a high scoring affair right there. What do you like? What do you like? High scoring targets, stacks. What do you like?
Yeah, no, I do have Joe Burrow written down on my notes as well. I'm all over Joe Burrow tomorrow. He's probably my favorite quarterback this week because he has that pretty much same elite top tier fantasy quarterback value, or at least, ceiling. And he's still a, cheaper by a good amount over the guys like Allen, Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. So I really do like Burrow tomorrow. As you mentioned, all his receivers are back fully healthy. I like stacking up with the Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon is back and fully healthy. And I also kind of think Howard Boyd could be a sneaky play tomorrow too. He's only 5,000, so he's only going to get 15 points to hit that value. So really, any of his weapons are going to be good tomorrow. Hayden Hurst is ruled out. So in fact, that should probably increase the target share for the three top receivers. So I really like anybody in the Bengals offense tomorrow. My other quarterback this week is Jared Goff, who's matched up against the 28th ranked Vikings defense. And Jared Goff is only 5,600 draft salary, extremely cheap compared to all these other quarterbacks. And in terms of a stack up option, I'm all over the Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown a stack up option. Ross St. Brown is heavily targeted, one of the top target receivers in the entire league. The Vikings defense ranked terribly against opposing wide receivers, so I think Ross St. Brown will tear it up in the slate tomorrow, tear it up in his game.
I love that. I love that. You're looking at more stacks. You need to look at the Seahawks a little bit. You got Metcalf and Lockett out there. It's a low owned stack, actually, like Geno Smith with Lockett, Geno Smith with Metcalf. That's, of course, the Carolina defense. Their secondary is actually pretty solid. But honestly, Metcalf, you just can't cover that guy all the time. He's just too good. And with the Panthers defense actually being kind of high owned, I think this is a great way to get leverage and beat it. They can be using cover three, cover four, which is a beautiful for tournament leverage when you're using DK and Lockett. Um, and then if you want to look at another high scoring game, you got to look at the Chiefs. But if you want to get a little different with the Chiefs, you got to look at like Isaiah Pacheco. He's cheaper. He's lower owned. Um, the Chiefs are projected to be in the lead the whole game, so he's going to see a lot of play when they're running the clock out. he's starting to ramp up his route running. He only had three less route runs than McKinnon last week, so I don't see why uh, he can't be a tournament winner tomorrow. Well, give me some more. Give me some more yours.
So I actually just want, since we're on the Chiefs Broncos game right now, I actually want to go off of a Broncos receiver that I have written down here, and that is none other than Jerry Jeudy. He's 5,400, and I know everybody's been off on the whole Broncos offense. I mean, rightfully so, because they sucked all year. But Courtland Sutton is out tomorrow, so Jerry Jeudy's going to see a large majority of the targets, and he's only 5,400. He's worth the risk, I think. So he's definitely going to help you save salary elsewhere in your lineup. Now, as for running backs, I have two running backs I've written down here. One of them being Tony Pollard, who is costing at 6,700 drafting salary this week, and he's running against the 32nd ranked Texas defense. We've been talking about it weekly and how bad that defense is against the run. So I'm all over Tony Pollard. Yes, I know they got Zeke. I know he'll be splitting carries with Zeke. I honestly think Zeke is also a good start in himself tomorrow, but I do like Pollard better. He's more explosive, and I think he's going to break off for bigger runs, which means more fantasy points. So I'm more on Pollard tomorrow than I am Zeke. However, if you do want to save a little bit of salary, you could go Zeke, but Pollard's a better start for sure. Another running back that I also do like is Travis Homer of the Seahawks, with Kenneth Walker and DJ Dallas practically being doubtful for tomorrow's contest. Travis Homer is the top running back on the Seahawks depth chart now. He's only 5,000 in DraftKings salary, and the Panthers' run defense isn't ranked really well. They're only ranked 23rd against the run, so it's about mid-pack. Their pass defense is definitely better, so I would not be surprised to see the Seahawks run the ball a little bit more. And Travis Homer should be seeing, the largest percentage of guaranteed carries. So I really do like Homer tomorrow. I think he's going to be a good cheap play. He runs it for a touchdown, going to be low owned. Nobody's going to see coming. That could be the difference maker right there.
We mentioned Pacheco, you mentioned Homer. I also love Dalvin Cook. You talked about Jared Goff. I do love that stack too. That's a good game. You want to run Jared Goff or St. Brown, then you run it back with Dalvin Cook. He's fantastic for GPPs tomorrow. Derrick Henry's in a great spot as well. You got to keep an eye on the Leonard Fournette news. If Leonard Fournette's out, you got to roll out Rashad Wright in all cash games, 100%. Now, last week, I don't know if anybody listened to me, but I said Trent Sheffield, and everyone that I know was like, bro, what are you talking about? I think he put up 15 fantasy points, caught that touchdown. He he had me in green in all of my lineups that I had him in. I told you I had 95% of him in my lineups. I went all in, and it was all good. All good. Risk. But so this week, I gotta find my risk this week. And this week I'm looking at Elijah Moore. Um I think he's going to be good against the struggling Tavon Johnson. I think so. I think he's going to have a good game. Also, really, really looking at Julio Jones. Um, kind of gross, but I project that's going to be a kind of a high scoring game, and he does get the volume. He crosses all the check marks for me when I'm looking at like route running and targets. So I don't see why I can't go Julio Jones. He's like 1% owned, and outside of limited man coverage, we'll see from 49ers, Julio Jones gets a nice boost in his baseline target share against cover three zone. So like he's my Trent Sheffield this week, Julio Jones. Who do you like? Cheap.
No,
I think you said like Jarrett Wilson, right?
well, yeah, I like Garrett Wilson, but before I get more into him, I do like the risk taking because obviously the Trent Sheffield risk worked out last week. I hate to admit that you were right, but you were right. He was in my best lineup last week. So, give us, congratulate yourself on that. That was a great pick. Julio Jones is definitely very risky this week, especially with the Niners defense playing the way they have been. But honestly, it is still Julio Jones. He's a Hall of Fame receiver, so I would not be shocked to see him have a good day tomorrow. Now, as for my wide receivers, they're not as risky, obviously. They're definitely guys we've been talking about pretty much every week on this podcast. One of my guys, Christian Kirk, 6,600 DraftKings salary. He's His matchup is against the 32nd ranked Titans defense against wide receivers. So I'm all over Christian Kirk. Trevor Lawrence has been playing probably some of his best football ever since he got to the NFL. So I think Christian Kirk will have a nice day tomorrow with Trevor Lawrence. And another wide receiver I like is the other receiver on the Jets, the more productive receiver this year, Garrett Wilson, 5,900 in DraftKings salary. He's against a 22nd ranked Bills defense, and he's gonna obviously see most of the attention against the Bills. But Garrett Wilson has been consistently producing great numbers week in and week out, especially ever since Mike White took over. Mike White is ready to be started tomorrow. So I know Garrett Wilson is high owned, but he's still cheap. He's still going to be a good salary saver. So I am all over Garrett Wilson heading into tomorrow's game against the Bills.
I am absolutely with you on all of it. Um, to finish up for my picks and everything, just kind of looking at defenses. The only defense I'm really running out tomorrow is the Cowboys defense. There's no reason not to. Um, tight end, Greg Dulcich is going to be the highest tight end owned, so he's in like all my cash lineups. TJ Hawkinson is another great one I'm looking at, especially when you talk about how Jared Goff should be fantastic tomorrow. Um, Not Jared Goff, I'm sorry.
Kirk Cousins, yeah.
Kirk Cousins, because we talked about him earlier about how he's good. It should be a shootout, low ownership. They when the Lions show their cover two, cover three zone, that's when Hawkinson gets the priority targets from Kirk Cousins. So I don't see why he wouldn't be another fantastic tight end tomorrow. But just to give you like some of my locked on plays tomorrow, I'm locked on Joe Mixon, Amar St. Brown, DJ Moore, Greg Dulcich, Dalvin Cook, DK Metcalf, Isaiah Pacheco. Those are going to be 90 to 95% in all my lineups. So go ahead and finish it off, Dante.
Yeah, now just to share two more picks I have real quick as well. You already mentioned the Cowboys defense. No reason why I shouldn't be starting them tomorrow. They're not even the most expensive defense on the slate, and they're ranked. Their matchup is against the 31st ranked Texans offense, and really the only bright spot in the Texans offense all year this week or all year so far has been Dameon Pierce, who's been struggling in recent weeks. So I really do like the Cowboys defense tomorrow. And as for my tight end, David Njoku, because why not? Only 3,900 DraftKings salary. The Bengals defense is about mid-pack against tight ends, but he is the second best pass catching option on the Browns. And then I expect Deshaun Watson to slowly look more and more like his past self from 2 years ago. So, but yeah, those are our picks for this week. We're flying high here at DFS Rebels. We're on a hot streak. We're looking to win a lot of money again tomorrow. So if you guys like what you listen here or see here, definitely give us a subscribe. Give us a like at the very least. We really do appreciate it. Consider donating to our Patreon where you have access to a cheat sheet, where you have access to 24/7 Discord chat. We're always around to help you. But yeah, we winning, we vibing here at DFS Rebels. So yeah, it is time to join the rebellion.